My name is Sarah Woodbury, and today we are talking about the Gaulish settlement at Glanum.
So Glanum is in France, not Britain. Why are we talking about Glanum?
While this video series is about Britain, the Celts had an extensive culture that crossed the entire continent from Ireland to, as I said before, Czechoslovakia. And we can learn about Celtic religion in Britain, even though we're talking about Celts in France. So the Celts in France were known to the Romans as Gauls, though in their own language they called themselves Celtae, and that is in fact the origin of the name that came to be applied to all the peoples who shared their language and culture. The city of Glanum was established by the 6th century BC, when the villagers built ramparts on the hills surrounding their village to protect themselves from invaders. And these invaders were not yet Greeks or Romans or any of those names that we know today. The hallmark of the town was a sacred spring, known for its healing powers, and was dedicated to the Celtic water god Glanus, one of several Celtic gods worshipped in the city. Archaeologists view the city as having a vibrant Celtic culture, using characteristic pottery, cooking utensils in which they boiled rather than fried their food like some other tribes, and apparently had a penchant for displaying the heads of their enemies at the city gate. As with the Britons, we know a great deal about Glanum because of the people who encountered them, rather than because of their own writings. For Glanum, the Greeks were influential first, and the town developed something of a syncretic Gallo-Greek culture. The Greeks didn't take over the city, however, just influenced its architecture and art. In earlier videos, I talked about the Roman takeover of Britain, which began in the 1st century AD. Southern France was significantly more accessible to the Roman legions than Britain, and thus Rome began moving into Celtic Gaul around 120 BC. The conquest was completed under the rule of Julius Caesar, starting around 50 BC, and by 22 BC, Glanum achieved the status of oppidum Latinum, which meant Glanum's aristocracy acquired Roman citizenship. Even then, the city did not entirely abandon its Celtic religious beliefs. This can be seen in an altar built in the 1st century AD by M. Licinius Veracundus, a Celt who was also a Roman legionnaire. The altar was dedicated first to the Celtic healing god Glanus, and then to the Glanicae, the ancient Celtic, in quotes, mothers who watched over the city. Although the Glanicae are specific to the city of Glanum, they are one example of the practice of worshipping of goddesses in groups of 3 that was common throughout the Celtic world. Finally, the altar is dedicated to the Roman goddess Fortuna Redux, who was responsible for the safe return of those far from home. The inscription reads, "To the god Glanus and the Glanicae, and to Fortuna Redux, Marcus Licinius Veracundus of the tribe Claudia, veteran of the 21st Legion Rapaces, meaning predators, has accomplished his vow with gratitude and good faith." This is a clear indication that the religious practices in Glanum still had strong Celtic roots, even though they were a Roman city. This discussion of Glanum is actually a good transition to what we'll be talking about next week, which is Roman religion in Britain. Thanks for watching my video. You can click on the playlist or subscribe to my channel to see more. There'll be a new video next week. If you want to check out my books, click on the link to my webpage.